guys for coming out today as we all march, white, black, Hispanic, every race, every religion coming together for one. Democrat, Republicans, thank you guys all for coming together because this is a problem that is bigger. And for you guys to be responsible enough to be here means the absolute most to me. And I really want to thank you guys for coming together as a community. Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. It fills me with pride to see many of you here as we recognize the black men and women who have lost their lives to police brutality into the larger problem of systematic racism. George Floyd, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland, Aaron Bailey, Peter Gaines, Antoine Rose are among so many others whose names have never, Corey Jones, are among so many names that have never made the mainstream media. It breaks my heart that in 2020, the African American community still must gather to demand life and liberty in our pursuit of happiness. Values that seem ironic to face our reality. I always tell people that there is only one race, and that is the human race. One race, one dream. We stand united in our common goals of safety and prosperity. We stand united in our humanity, our compassion, and our empathy. And I am truly grateful for the unified show of diversity before me as we stand together as one race that is fighting against racism and its evil nature of dividing people and creating conflict and inequality. I personally have a lot of love and respect for the law enforcement officers, for my mentors, Patricia Brown, Selena Hightower, Willie DeJew. And I know that many of us want to love and respect those who risk their lives to maintain law and order. But the truth is, it just makes it so hard to do when we continue to see white officers abuse and kill black individuals. Our ancestors, bound by the shackles of slavery, helped build a nation with the same commitment to democratic principles and the same vision of a just and generous America that all citizens share. Yet, at every turn, we have been beaten down. In 2020, we remain I'm sorry guys, I'm running too fast. Metamorphical shackles, the enduring lack of economic and educational opportunities, and the injustice in our judicial and political systems, which are as the result of a long and violent racist history in this country. On April 3rd, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. declared, "The nation is sick, trouble is in the land, confusion all around the world." The following day, he was gunned down by a white racist. This violence must stop. This nation must work to cure the sickness. Truth and reconciliation must prevail. The policies that enslaved us are enacted in plain view of voting public. It is time to hold elected officials accountable by using our ballots to vote for those candidates who are willing to engage in honest conversations, who are willing to admit their mistakes, who are willing to support legislation that abolishes structural racism. All government officials and employees as representatives of our government need to be held accountable when they act on their racism. And this begins with the leader of our country, a man who tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts," echoing the past racism of a Miami police chief who in 1967 ordered his troops to aim their shotguns at demonstrators from the Negro areas in his city. You are mad and I am mad. We are perfectly justified in our anger. But again, we need to be accountable for our actions. Racism should be punished if it is acted upon. Criminal acts should be punished if acted upon, regardless of how justified the emotion is that provoked them. I know many of you, like me, woke up this morning with rage over the continued persecution and injustice, rage over the poverty that makes African Americans a target of the pandemic rage over the fear of black mothers every time their sons walk out of the door, rage over gun violence in our neighborhoods, and rage over the grossly imbalanced number of arrests and incarcerations, and the blatant privilege that results in the net worth of a typical white family being nearly 10 times greater than that of a black American family. Of a privilege that ensures better schools and better jobs and safer neighborhoods, the greater social acceptance. But this rage should not turn into criminal acts. It should solidify into determination to honor the legacy of Dr. King, whose efforts made more progress than anyone before or after him. I know we live in the age of instant gratification, but we must emulate his patience, and perseverance and fight for his dream. We must continue to raise our voices together to peacefully protest against injustice and inequality. We must firmly but peacefully demand our unalienable rights as Americans.